G'day folks, and thank you very much for tuning the dial to Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures. Sit back and relax. We've got a pretty good show for you today.
Look at that!
The old bearded birdler, he's in his element.
Threw it into his mouth.
Unbelievable, mate.
It's just like nature. It's what we're all about.
I tell you what,
This is just fantastic.
Wagons, ho!
Oh, thank your mother for the rabbits.
Just when they think it's safe to come out,
it's not an animal.
bang!
I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing.
Morning, Rex. Good to see you, mate.
You too, buddy.
Folks, this is Lumpy. Yeah, that's his name and by nature. And I tell you a little story. Mondora, who is the king around here of the Rex Hunt team, he sent me into the town of Barra to ask for David Milson. And 600 of the 603 people and a dog living there haven't heard of him, but they said, oh, you mean Lumpy. And red claw, folks, for you people looking where there's yabbies, these are yabbies with red claw. This is magnificent Lake Tinaroo, and what we have here is more than barramundi apparently with these red claw.
Mate, there are loads of red claw here. They live in these areas along the bank edges. You'll set your pots about 20 feet of water in a bare area. But they'll just about eat anything. They're omnivores. For you intelligent guys, that means they'll eat just about anything.
Well, let's go.
All right, mate.
Serious body of water, needle in a haystack for the red claw. How do we find it?
Well, Rex, we've narrowed it down. What I'm doing here, we're coming up in a pretty good spot. We've got just about 20 feet of water here. That's what we want, a nice firm bottom, no weeds, but there's weeds and trees around. Let's get the pots ready and chuck them over.
How are we
Rex,
going?
we're coming up on a good spot here now, mate. Would you mind chucking the pots for me?
Not at all.
There we go, you can see there's no weed on the sounder. Okay, Rex, we're coming up on a good spot now, mate. Ready? Okay, chuck it. All right, Rex, number 2, mate, in you go. Okay, coming up on it. Okay, chuck it.
Okay, Lump.
All right, lucky last one, Rex. Chuck this one out a little bit further, mate.
Okay.
Thanks.
So our pots are set here in Lake Tinaroo. And kids, all this is fishing. We've got the bait out there. We're hoping for our prey to be attracted by the smell of that bait. They crawl into the nets and yibbida yibbida, we're going to cook them up for a great feed.
All right, mate, I got it.
Jackpot.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple there. Very good. Now, listen, one of the things we always do, Rex, is try and put as many different types of bait in there as possible.
Yep.
Well, we've got 3 males in here, Rex. Correct way to pick them up, like all yabbies, I'm assuming. When they won't let go of the net.
Yeah.
You can see the red patch there. That's actually soft. Feel that. That's quite soft there. That's not
It's like
hard.
a tube, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Must have some reason.
One assumes so. I don't know
pull.
why. You've done that before, haven't
I have,
you?
yeah. I won the actually yabby pulling competition at Barra in the turn of the century.
Is that right? I didn't know you were that old.
I am. Look at that.
Why do you want to hang that one?
Yeah, that's just fantastic.
the regulation.
Wow,
Oh, that's
look at that.
nice.
And a fish as well.
Yes. Yes, that's a mouth almighty. One of the things that the barramundi feed on in here.
Is it really?
Yeah. Now, the laws in Queensland are that you're allowed 4 pots per person.
Gee, that's a serious red claw.
That is a nice red claw, that one, mate.
Serious red
Yeah.
claw. Oh, that is a genuine freshwater crayfish. Look at these. Oh, they're fantastic.
They are nice.
Gee, there's going to be some nice meat on them.
My word.
And a mouth almighty, as you said.
Yeah. Now, you can see why they call the mouth almighty.
Looks like a Rex huntfish, doesn't
It does, actually. Probably more likely to be a John Mondora fish, though, I think.
Many of those in here?
There are absolutely millions of those in here. In fact, they make very good barramundi bait.
Do they really?
They grow to about 12 inches long, maximum size. Make a great aquarium fish, too.
Yeah, they would. The kids catch them?
Yes, my word, you catch them on a little fly hook with a bit of worm under a bubble float.
Great learning curve.
My word.
Tell you what, this bloke didn't know what he was in for.
No. Oh dear, poor bugger. No, thanks.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, beautiful, big size.
They are nice. They do get bigger.
Do they really?
Yeah. Now, well, how many have we got here so far?
That's 6.
Half a dozen or so.
Yeah.
We are allowed to have 40 in possession per person. So that means if you catch 40 today,
Yeah.
come back tomorrow,
Yeah.
catch another 40, you're in breach of the law. It's 40 in possession,
I see.
okay? So you can't have 40 in your freezer and then take another 40 home. But it's 40 per person, so if you've got a number of people in your family, obviously multiply that by 40. Okay, lucky last. Let's see how we go. Now we've got enough there, Rex, for quite a tasty feed.
Nice feed. Just magnificent. I've heard you are just
Mate,
one of the kings of
We have hit the
culinary delight.
jackpot here. Look at this.
Look at that.
There's a bunch. Oh, there's a one that's buried. Now they call it buried because she's got eggs underneath her.
I see.
Yeah. I'll just pop them in there. I'll get the female out and show you. Just. Now, if you look, they carry the eggs under the tail.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Once again, by law, you must throw them back.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want a sustainable resource if everybody kills them. Look, there's hundreds of them there.
There's hundreds of eggs there. and
They're
they
actually about 2 days away from hatching.
Yeah.
And they hang on under there for a while as little embryonic type.
You can see
red claw.
tiny little eyes right in there. Well, good on you, lady. You go and do your trip. You won't be kissing you. We'll just shake you by the hand.
You're going to kiss that
No,
one.
no, back of the neck. But don't do it, kids. There you go, lady. Off you go. And off she goes. We've got a beautiful feed.
All
Well,
right.
you opened up your big trap and you said that you can cook for me. Well, if you can cook, I can eat. I tell you what, Lumpy's Culinary Delights here on Lake Timaru. We're going to put him under the real spotlight here, son.
There we go, mate.
Thank you very much. Well, we've caught them and they've been beautifully prepared by our chef, Lumpy. So it's over to you, young man.
All right, mate. Look, just before you go starting to cook them, here's a little tip for you. You've obviously got to take the head off. The best way to kill them, by the way, is to put them in the freezer shortly. They just go to sleep. It's not cruel at all. It's very humane. All right, we've taken the head off. Now the idea is to get this vein out of the back here, which tastes a little bit muddy. 3 flaps there. You take the middle flap, crack it from side to side, pull it, and out comes the vein.
Look at that.
Yep.
That is a great
Too
tip.
easy.
Does that work with crayfish as well, you reckon?
I don't know. Maybe you should try it, Rex.
I will give it a go. Thank you very
All
much.
right, now what we're going to do, 2 different ways I want to cook them here today. 2 of my favourite ways. I've split them in half just with a large cleaver. What we're going to do is get a little garlic butter. Garlic butter, okay. Onto the hot plate. So just make sure they're laying nice and flat like that. All right, next step, Rex, we've spared no expense. We've got the saucepan lid, mate, a little white wine, just a dash of white wine on top of there. Oh, smell that. Okay, so I'll just put the lid on there. 2 minutes maximum. You don't want to ruin them by overcooking them. They'll get tough otherwise. You want to keep that nice crisp seafood flavour. All right, once again, almost the same process. we have here the garlic butter dish of Parmesan cheese.
Gee.
Just dip them on there, nice even coating, just like that. All right, these look like they're just about ready.
Well, this is the test, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tinaroo Dam Red Claw, lumpy style.
Hang in there, mate.
Absolutely magnificent.
Lumpy, it has been an absolute pleasure to be in a boat with you, and that boat of yours is magnificent. How two fully grown elephants could go out on Lake Tinaroo and not sink is beyond me, but quite seriously, it's been a delight to see you. You're one of the real characters of fishing. And folks, to coin a phrase of Con the Fruiterer, a couple of days at Lake Tinaroo in far north Queensland, beautiful.
Rex, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
And all the best to you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Well, how about this for a day, folks? As the big fella would say, it's absolutely magnificent. It's about 31 degrees. The sea is like glass. There is not a cloud in the sky. And we're about 12 miles off Eco Beach, just south of Broome in Western Australia. And I'm here with my mate, Jeni Lurch, who's a very keen sport fisherman from Broome. Jeni, Patch has brought us out here in Strike One. He tells us we're over some reef. What are we likely to catch here?
We're probably going to catch some snapper today, maybe a red emperor would be really nice, and a few other reef fish.
Red emperor would be really nice. They're one of my favourite eating fish. All right, let's get the baits in there, because I reckon the first one to the bottom is going to be the first one hooked up. Not real sure what this is. It's kicking and shaking its head. 80 feet down, I hooked it, and here it comes. I think it's going to be something for the table. Yep, it's a blue-lined emperor or a nor'wester or a spangled emperor, whatever you want to call it, depending on what part of the country you catch it in. Beautiful table fish. Look at these colours around the eyes and inside the mouth. It's actually red. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Oh, look at the sea snake out here too. I tell you what, it's all happening here. There's plenty of life around. Beautiful. And Patches tells me that these are a great table fish. And I know he's right because I've eaten a few of them myself over the years. So we're going to hang on to this one for a bit of a fry up back at Eco Beach. There you go, Jen, I'm one up. You're letting the side down. Oh no, you've got one. Beauty. What do you got, Jen?
Another one for bait. Ooh. It's all right. This will be for bait for later.
Yeah, some sort of little emperor again. You're going to pop that one in the live bait well?
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we will.
Starting to happen. Oh, that's a bit more like it.
A bit bigger than yours.
Well done. Okay, we'll have that one.
You have that one?
Yeah, beautiful blue-lined emperor. Jen, just while it's gone a little bit quiet at the moment, I've just put this rubber-tailed Popeye jig on for you. Nice big heavy lead head. Go and drop that in. I'm going to see if I can rustle us up some lunch because the worms are starting to nibble.
Okay, save me a Kit Kat.
Oh, you got one already.
This is a better fish.
That's a good fish. Why right in the middle of lunchtime though, Jen?
It's feeding time, that's why.
Yeah, I guess so. Always happens that way, doesn't it? As soon as we start grazing, so do the fish. Told you it was worth dropping that rubber tail jig over.
Look at that water, it's just perfect today.
What a day. It just got better and better, didn't it?
Brilliant. Oh,
Now he's fighting a bit. Gee, it's a nice big mac tuna. Just wind down to him again once more, Jen. Got him.
well done.
Oh, good on you, Jen.
Thank you.
What a lovely fish. And he grabbed that rubber tail jig, just being gently jigged up and down there while we were having lunch. And that's a lovely kawa or mackerel tuna. Still incorrectly called bonito in some parts of the world, particularly Queensland, but they're not actually a bonito. A member of the tuna family. Beautiful fish. Look at the sunlight on the side of it there. It's just iridescent. Well done, Jen.
Thank you. Hey.
How was that? There were cobia everywhere there for a minute.
Sure were, and they were mighty hungry.
I'll say. Oh, this is great. You know, cobia are one of those fish that I've always wanted. Well, I've caught a couple, but you know, they always seem to elude me wherever I go. Other people catch them.
Oh, yes, it's pretty close.
Yeah. They're not monstrous ones, but oh, look at that. They're such
That's
good-looking fish.
beautiful.
I love them. Woo! Oh, look at the stripes. He's really lit up. These fish are found all over the world in tropical and subtropical waters. They're caught in the United States and Africa and all over the place, and they have different names in different places. Some areas they're called sergeant fish, and you can see why, because of the stripes on the side of them. Some places they call them ling, other places lemon fish, but cobia is the most widely accepted name. Come on, mate, I want to release you. How are you going with yours, Jen?
Just had another nice big run. But it's
Take
coming.
your time and I'll get this bloke sorted out.
Okay.
Might just be
here
able
he
to lift
goes
him in
again.
on the trace. And there he goes. Oh. Oh. Pick him up and give you a look. Oh, there we go.
Got it?
Hook's out. Yep. How are you going, Jen? You got colour?
No, not yet. He's gone pretty deep.
All right. There we go. Cobia or black kingfish. Fantastic. Only fish in its family. It's got no other close relatives, even though it looks a bit like a shark or a bit like a catfish. But it's a very unique fish. I'm going to pop this one back in the water because I think Jen's is a bit bigger.
And mine's got leader happening.
How you going?
Yeah, my leader's just starting to
You've got the leader up?
Yep.
Oh, that's just fantastic to see
perfect in
that.
that
Oh, look
water.
at him throwing up the bait and the other things that he's eaten. And that's why fish follow each other around when they're hooked up, because they know that's going to happen. Now this one might be a little bit, ooh, I'll tell you what, clips undone too.
Oh, he's a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. Jen, I'll get this hook out of the way. You got him. And I'll show you what he's just had for dinner not too long ago. Hook's nearly out. There we go. Look at that. He's eaten a flounder. He's not going to let go of it either, but I'll show the folks at home. There's the tail of the flounder. It's still there in the back of his throat, and yet he was hungry enough to come up to the surface and eat that garfish. You got him?
Yeah,
Look at that. Oh, I tell you what, there's some weight in that, Jen.
that's pretty good.
It's a beautiful fish. Have you had a good day?
I certainly have. Have you?
Oh, I've had an absolute ball. What do you
Great.
want to do with this fella?
Put him back.
Okay, good on you. Great eating, but we'll go and let him finish his dinner. Oh, I'll just lower him in. Oh, he's away.
Ah,
Well, Jen, thanks to you and Patches and Strike One, which has lived up to its name again, I've had a fantastic day off Broome.
great.
You sure do live in a nice part of the world.
Certainly do. Can't beat it.
Known universally just simply as the Bem. It's probably the last frontier of bream fishing in Australia. With you could say it's just as good as it was 50 years ago.
Well, I think it probably is for those that persevere and adjust to the conditions, Rex. It is a changing scene, and Tuesday the lake was opened and it had another 1.5 metres of water on it. So in that short space of time we're seeing an incredible change.
It's quite an amazing thing too, with seeing all these flats with the weed, the diversity of wildlife that must be sustained, from shrimps to prawns to ghost crabs to pelicans. I saw a crane up there diving for some small mullet. It's an amazing food chain.
With all this exposed area here, it's easy pickings for almost any wading bird, and particularly the swans and the and the pelicans, they're just having a great time. So I just hope we can have a great time too.
Well, exclusive to Bem River is the polling effect, and it's known all over the world, Donnie, and away you go.
Sure is, Rex. This was proven to be the ultimate, I guess, with a mud bottom. The old timers worked it out that there was only one way, and that was a pole. Anything else is very much inferior. You'd put it in, secure him. I don't put him in too far because I've got to get him out. And then I'm going to just tie off the top a couple of times around, because that helps the rope not slipping up and down on the pole. The old timers worked it out that there was nothing better than a pole in this mud. Anchors don't work anywhere near as well as the mud.
There it goes. Look, the end of the rod just went down like that and he grabbed it. Don,
Well done.
I don't think he's anything to write home about. I think he's one of the small ones that inhabit this area. But that was with sandworm. Don's finding that apparently with the harder baits, like prawn and these other sort of fish type baits, that these smaller fish, this is not that small, but he certainly, he wouldn't make the legal size limit of 26 centimetres. So a nice looking Bem River brim. And what I'm going to do is just cut the hook off and just leave it. So many people just go after that hook. And we've said so many times before that those hooks cost a couple of cents, and you've got a beautiful fish like a brim that can give someone, a tremendous amount of enjoyment. Now, this might be a bit better fish, this fish.
Well done, Rex.
This might be a bit better fish. This still water fishing is really conducive to these soft rods. There's a very good example of a beautiful Bem River brim. And you can see there that we're fishing in very, very heavy weed. Now that is a great example of a beautiful brim. I can tell you now, I didn't come down here to kill any, although we might grab one later on for tea and Di can cook it up. But is there a better sight than that? I haven't been here for over a decade. I come out with the guru Donnie, and within 2 minutes, I've got two beautiful examples of why I used to come to the Bem. Good on you, mate. And away he goes. You've got a fish on there now,
no.
mate, so you better look at him. He's
look at
on.
him. Oh,
He's
gee,
on.
Was you sure he's on?
Too
Rex?
right, he's on. If you pull that up, mate, I will
didn't-
guarantee that
I
he's
didn't hear
on.
the clutch run.
There he is.
Mate, he's on,
mate.
all right.
I told you he was on.
Well done.
Just important, those soft rods. 'Cause I was just
gone.
going to say,
Yeah.
so many people lose the fish just at the boat.
Oh, look at that.
And
The
he
big
pulled
2-0
right out,
hook,
mate.
and he pulled it out.
Just fantastic.
Oh, how about that?
Back in 1931, when Zane Grey was at Bermagui during the log jam of the Narooma River, he actually left this rod in the memory of his particular spirit, and he donated it to you, Don. How long have you had that?
Oh, a long time.
Mate, I tell you what,
Been a great ride.
there's a photo there of the last Collingwood Premiership. That's amazing.
You're not wrong.
Sensational, mate.
Well done. Oh, gee, I love it.
Oh, could you believe that fish getting off? In you come. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Going through some hooks here, but it doesn't matter because these fish will get rid of the hooks. There's no doubt about it. There you go. Now, just picked up a couple of things by coming out here with Donnie. We're in a weed bed. So sometimes you can actually cast and it can land in just a big compost heap under the water and can sit there, nothing happens. So as soon as you cast it, it might land into a sandy area with shell, and that's the home of brim. So if you're casting somewhere and you're getting fish consistently, particularly good fish, make sure you cast back in that area. And people say, oh, how would you know? It just all looks like the one bit of water. You can judge how far you're casting, and when you cast, feather the line. That means just stop the line with the finger and you'll go in the same area every time.
Okay, look, I'm shelling the prawn. People ask me about that. And I say, look, when I eat prawn, I shell them, and I love bream, and I love to catch a bream, and I don't expect them to eat a prawn, shell and all. I perhaps am a bit biased where you think it works and it's only in your mind. And I think that's a pretty good bait. I've left my hook clear. Not working yet, but it's about to. Oh.
Oh, beautiful.
If he does that again, we might have this bloke. Come on, mate. No, he's not there.
Gee whiz, what a frustrating thing. Yes, he is, he's there.
He
And
is.
a nice fish too. Oh, he's a good one, isn't he?
Tell you what,
He's a good fish.
I like the feel of this one.
You like it, don't you?
Wow, well, could be a net one, this one.
I tell you what, mate, you have put it on the nose of a serious fish.
Let's hope you're right, Rex, by crikey.
I reckon when you got 40 metres of line out when you did and you had to stop winding and he took line, mate, we haven't got a kiss and release here, mate.
Fair enough.
I tell you what. Still feels all right.
He does feel quite good. He hasn't run again, but there he is. Can you see him? He's a nice one.
Oh, wow. That is a beauty. That is a beauty. That is an absolute beauty. Look at that. Now, that's what we needed. Big lips,
Yes,
crunching teeth for the shell.
he's dead right, and he's got that bait right down.
Yeah, now, isn't that just a marvellous example of what Bem River's all about? Well, that's sensational. Just give us a look at the line there, Donnie. And he swallowed that hook, so we'll do the right thing,
Thank
and
you,
you can
Rex.
pop him back. I know.
Well, a lovely fish, Rex.
Isn't that just sensational?
A good result for the move.
Yep. And that's what it's all about, folks. Fishing with people in the know who've been here for decades and know when to move and where to go. And it's been a valuable lesson for me today, and I hope you've got something out of it too. Now, the Bem River is a serious fishery. I first came here in 1967, and that's a long time ago, and the last time, 1991. So it's been a while since I've been here. The pub got burnt down and they built it up again. There's a new jetty, but the ecology of the whole area is still in magnificent condition, showing the value of bag limits and regulatory fishing since the netters went out of here in the mid-1930s. A beautiful lunch prepared by Di Cunningham, a little bit of a kip and a cup of coffee, and late afternoon sees us in search of another species, the estuary perch of Bem River. Well, give it a go, folks. I hope you're enjoying the show, because this is just paradise if you're a fisher like me. Didn't he slam that?
Wow, that was good feeling, I tell you.
Was that on the Tassie Devil?
Yes, the pink
Wow.
Tassie Devil, weed and all. Have a look at that.
Look at that. Well, that's a terrific effort, I tell you what. I've never seen so much weed, but perseverance. Wow. Let's not lose that right over the side. What a beautiful fish. Wow.
He's got a bit of toe,
Just
this guy, too.
slammed that, didn't he? Bit of displacement, look at that.
Only in the lip.
Well, that's a beautiful perch. Now, have a look at that. Wow. That is a very, very nice estuary perch. Come here, mate. Look at that with a comfort lift. Now,
I'm shivering a bit, Rex, but thank you for that. What a classic.
well, so you should be. Isn't it fantastic to see a bloke at your stage of life who actually gets excited about something like that?
I'm shaking.
Now, the eyes up here, they're for hunting. They live in the weed, and they're mainly a predator type fish. And he's taken that particular pink Tassie Devil. You can see these beautiful dorsal fins and the pectoral fins and the anal fins. And one thing, if you're going to handle them, you want to handle them like I am now. They'll sit there all day. But here, real major problem if you're a young player. There's a spike there that can go right into you, and these particular areas here, these gill rakers, they can slice you to the bone. A beautiful example of this magnificent estuary perch. And that fish is not far off a kilo. Beautiful dark features, just camouflage superb. And mate, Donnie Cunningham's asked me if I'll release you, and away he goes.
Well done, Rex. That was great.
No, Don.
I'm still shaking.
That was great for the great man. Because I tell you what, we were just about pulling the pin here. We've been here for an hour. The swans are laughing at us. But perseverance once again. Sorry, Don. They're starting to come on.
Right.
We've got no light at all. And I do make that apology, but I told Noel we've got a roll on it. So please, just no colour, but it is an important lesson. We've got the moon, which has just come up in the east. The sun's gone behind a cloud bank in the west. Prime times for fishing are first and last light, particularly when you do not get a lot of light. Now, I haven't got an estuary perch on here. What I've got is I've got a tailor. Now, these tailor have been in this system for a long, long time. Now, you can see that because he is black. If he'd have been, sorry about that, folks, if he had have been fresh out of the ocean, he would have been as silver as the hair on the side of my cranium. But the lesson is, don't give up until the last piece of light has gone from the sky. We can't film in it, but you people can certainly fish in it. Come out of there. Now, they call him Chopper Tailor because in there, he's got choppers. And he chops up everything, including those lures and whitebait. But look, he's almost green, almost to a point of being, well, black, because this estuarine system is a brachy system. It's been closed for many, many months, and they actually adapt with the camouflage. I'll put you back in and just watch it, kids. Don't kiss too many tailor because they've got teeth. Well, it's been another fantastic session. And the lesson is, never give up.
Look at that!
The old bearded birdler, he's in his element.
Threw it into his mouth. Unbelievable, mate.
It's just like nature. It's what we're all about.
I tell you what.
This is just fantastic. Wagons, ho! Oh, thank your mother for the rabbits.
Just when they think it's safe to come out,
Bang! I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing.
Mid-morning on the west coast of a magnificent island called Croker, facing the magnificent Timor Sea. And the human broom and I have come out here on the mid-tide on the flood in search of some saltwater barramundi, young man.
I'll probably fall out of the boat if I get a hook up, Rexy. I just really love the salties. They're just so fat, silver and aggressive.
Our man Lance here has had a lot of experience in these salties. They mill around here at this time of the year, waiting for a heavy rain and a breakthrough from the billabong and the estuaries to start running to get a bit of the old action, to play mummies and daddies. But they're out here and they're hungry. I am too, folks. I'm hungry for a salty.
big boil.
Oh, come away from those rocks. Come away from those rocks. Come with me, folks. We've got a bit of work to do here. And why I'm so really anxious is that we're over the top of an oyster bed. And I tell you what, if I was up on the south coast of New South Wales, I'd be eating them. But out here, this is where a lot of fish are. Now, this is a barramundi.
Actually, I'll get him there.
Amazing, amazing to get Barra in the middle of the ocean here. Oh, come on. And out he comes. And look at that. Look at that. Wowee. I tell you what, Bushy, there is just something about Barra in the salt water, in the sea. They are just a lot more streamlined. Noel will give you a look at them. It's really streamlined, aren't they?
Just
that
fell
should
out.
just come out just so easy. I'll let you do that. Just watch the lure. But oh, did he slam it? Wowee. Nice looking fish. Nice looking fish. Thought he was bigger than he was, but Lance said by Jingo, once they go bang in the ocean, they really put on a little bit of a parade.
Chrome, aren't they?
Yeah, they are chrome. Sensational.
And you'll see that yellow tail. That's a bit of a dead giveaway that she's a full-on ocean barramundi.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful fish, Bushy.
Righto, spear him in, Rexy.
Yeah, mate.
There
See you
you
later.
He's away.
Wow, how about that, folks? You know, I never tire of this, Bushy. I tell you what, every time we go to a new spot, it just goes to show you got the guide, you get the local knowledge. I would have driven past here because I thought I was going to run aground.
What we're trying to do here is just bump right down over these oyster rocks with the lure, and hopefully a fish will just come out from the side of it and go bang. And I think I might have even had a tap then. I'm not sure whether I just hit an oyster rock or whether it was a fish, but we'll find out. Yep, Rexy, I go on. Oh, it's a Barra. It's a nice Barra. It's a nice Barra. It's what we want. Come on, away from that rock. Oh, there he is. Come on to the boat and turn. There he is, Noel. There he comes. Yeehaw! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Thank you. What a nice fish. Ooh. See if we can get the hooks out of this one. Boy, we took a few casts, but he is a lovely fish. Well, there we go. Look at that, a chrome bar. Solid fish. Not a monster, but a very solid fish. And when you catch them around these shallow oyster rocks, they certainly get you going. Boy, oh boy. All right, now there's a local tradition up in these areas. It's when the guide says, Bushy, if you let that fish go and we've got nothing for dinner, you will never come here again. This one is not going back, folks. He's going in the boat.
Good on you, Bushman. Isn't he great? Perseverance he mentioned during that particular segment. And he's been here with myself for an hour and a half, just on the other side of the tide, and we knew something might happen. A couple of early fish were good for you folk, but we do put in the time, and so many people say, is it always good fishing? Well, the answer is yes, but we mightn't always catch the fish. But it's great fun anyhow. Hope you're enjoying the show. Oh, beautifully done. Come here. Come here. Beautiful saltwater Barra.
breeding time in the top end, and they'll be whirling around looking for their mates. A nice little fish. I can lift him up anyhow and show you. A nice little fish to end this segment. It's been a good segment, it really has. Look at this. Beautiful saltwater barra in all his glory, or her glory later on. They are a unique species. They're lean and mean in the saltwater, but as the billabongs fill up, they'll be just feeding on all of the magnificent food supply in this top end. So you come here, matey. You come here. A little bit of a comfort lift. And what a beautiful example of why we come to the top end. Ravenous, beautifully sleek, uniquely Australian. Our very own top end barramundi. It's good to have you along, folks.
Looks great, Bushy, doesn't it?
This is absolutely a great day.
Bushy's brought me to one of his favourite spots. This is Brogo Dam on the Brogo River, which is a tributary of the Bega River on the far south coast of New South Wales. And like a lot of these man-made impoundments that were constructed in the 50s and 60s and 70s, this one has fairly recently been stocked with fish. In this case, they're Australian bass. They fight like crazy, they look fantastic, and they're just good fun to catch. We're going to show you how. Now, the other thing to remember in this dam is 8-knot speed limit, so please keep your speed down. What about over there, Bushy?
That point there is pretty good.
Yes! Ooh, that came well out from the bank to hit that. Oh, he's not real big. Oh, gee, he hit like a ton of bricks. Aren't they a great looking fish?
That's a nice.
Oh, the colours in that.
Look at the colours on them.
And what I like about the fish out of Brogo is every fin is perfect, isn't it? There's not a sore on them. They never seem to have a split fin like some of the stock bass. They're just a beautiful, beautiful fish. He slammed that little spinnerbait. And the nice thing about a spinnerbait is there's just a single hook in there. I've made it semi-barbless. I haven't squashed the barb right down, but I've partially flattened it with a pair of pliers so that it'll come out nice and easily. Ah! And he just released himself. Something tells me we're going to catch a lot more of those along this stretch of bank. It's a bit like a lottery. Someone has got to hold the winning ticket, and it's just a matter of time, isn't it?
Now, bass often love these little tight gullies that come up here because they come down, it's quite deep, cool water right in close to the bank. So if you can get a lure way up in there, Stevie, I reckon you're going to get hammered.
Okie dokie.
I actually meant way up in there on the left-hand side where the bass might
Oh,
live.
I see. All right.
It's hard to get good help, isn't it?
Didn't score many points for that one, eh?
No, got absolutely no points. Right up the
Okay.
back, left-hand side of that stick coming out. That's the one. That's the money shot.
Oh, got him. Oh, Bushy. You nominated that one pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, that wasn't a pet one you had in there, was it? You've probably caught this one before.
Right. That's a nice little fish for Brogo
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it's not too bad when you can nominate a spot like that and throw a lure in. Bushy said my first shot was just a bit short and a bit far to the right. And when I got it in where he wanted me to get it, this little fella was waiting. And the one good thing about bass, if they're in any sort of aggressive mood at all, the first time they see a lure, they grab it. They're not a fish you have to keep throwing the lure in there again and again and again to get them excited like a golden perch or some of the other native fish here in Australia. The bass, if he's in the mood, he just nails it. Now, it's just going to come out of there so easily. There it is. What a chunky little fish, and there he goes back into the water.
Have a look at the rock wall, Stevie.
Yeah, it's quite a gorge, isn't it?
Love it up here. It's a really great spot. You've got rock orchids, there's all sorts of things up there.
Oh, good on you, Bushy.
Got me around a tree.
Oh, lecky us in there. That's one good thing about the electric motor. It's just a matter of Bushy stomping on the foot control and he can drive us in there. We can hopefully get in and get this fish off the snag. These electric, bow-mounted electric motors just give you so much control over where you're going, both when you're fishing and, in this case, when you're trying to get a fish off the snag.
Got me right down there in that stuff, Steve.
He looked like a good fish.
Well, he's certainly better than a few we've caught so far.
If you can get completely on the other side of him, Bushy, he might... How deep did he go?
Oh, you got him out.
Oh, well done. Look at that, he's been down in the weed too.
Look at that, he's still not a big fish. If we'd have lost that, we'd have thought it was about twice that size.
It would have been much better if he got away. We could have made up a story about it.
We could have. Yeah, look at them, they're just living jewels. Each individual scale, just the way they're built, you can see why bass is such a favourite. I mean, there are only titchy ones in here yet, but if we get a couple of dry years and they don't go over that wall, this will be just such fun fishing in here.
It's got a bit of weight.
I've got him out.
Oh, well done. That's a better fish for sure. That's got some weight in it, mate.
Yeah, that's a better fish.
You got him out of the sticks or what?
Yeah, now I have. That one was certainly hit a bit harder.
Oh, that's a bit more like it, Bushy. Woo! Bring him in here, mate, and I'll pick him up. Oh, that's a lovely fish.
That's the one.
Now, you're probably wondering why we're getting excited about a bass that's not particularly huge by a lot of standards, although in a river, I tell you what, I'd be pretty happy to catch a bass like that. These days in impoundments they get much, much bigger than that, but at the moment here in Brogo Dam, that's about as big as you're likely to encounter in a day's fishing, isn't it, Bushy?
They make the day good as well, but
Yes,
yeah, that's about as good as I can catch in here at the moment.
Yeah, he'd be probably a 4 or 5 year old fish from one of the stockings back in the mid to late 90s, and he's one that hasn't gone over the wall yet. Unfortunately, he's now reaching the size, or she is now reaching the size where she probably will run downstream this winter if there are floods over the wall. So that's why these sort of 32 centimetre fish are about as big as we seem to be getting at the moment. But and I'll get her back into the water. And it's always a good idea with fish like these bass just to hold them in the water for a few seconds, let the water go through their gills. Bushy's just motoring us slowly ahead. They do handle very, very well. Both Bushy and I have kept these fish in aquariums, and they do cope with a bit of handling, and they don't stress out. Oh, off like a shot, back down to join the others here in Brogo Dam. If you're down in southern New South Wales, come and check Brogo out, but there are a lot of other impoundments right throughout New South Wales and southeastern Queensland that offer exactly the same sort of fishing.